Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is Friday, September 8th, 2023. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. And this is a new location. We're standing north of the threshold of runway 18C, where arriving traffic from Polderbaan, because 18C is now being used for departures to the south, have to taxi around to reach the terminal building. So these A330s you're now seeing have just landed on Polderbaan and are now turning around the northern threshold of the runway. And in the meantime, a 777 from United, flight 71 to Newark, just taking off in the distance. We're at the runway that was being used for departures, for arrivals earlier in the morning as I was setting up. So if the A380 will land on 18C, it will come right over us. We're a little bit further removed from the airplanes than, for instance, on Polderbaan, so I did turn up the volume a little bit of the shotgun mic. Use the same setting as for runway 0927 when I'm standing next to the McDonald's. Hope the volume is okay for you guys, but do let me know. And this would be EasyJet flight 22514, A320neo going back to London Luton. A 4-year-old airplane. First flight December 2018. I think this is a location where a lot will happen. We have arriving traffic, we have departing traffic, we have taxiing traffic from Polderbaan to the main platform area. This was the best location. I was scouting around a little bit to see where you would have the best visibility on the runway. I think this is the most optimal site. Even though there are some thingies in the foreground that are hindering the view a little bit. And while this runway and 18 left are being used for departures, 18 right, the Polderbaan is still being used for arrivals. Air Astana, flight 903, A321neo that is arriving from Attirau, or has arrived from Attirau. Brand new airplane, first flight was in November 2022. Seven 737-700, also closely behind it. We've got a 777 that is going to take off to Paramaribo. And we also still have an arriving EasyJet A320neo arriving from London Gatwick. Right, so this would be KLM flight 713, 777-300 ER, 11 years old, first flight May 2012, going to Paramaribo in Surinam. Don't really hear much of the engines spooling up from over here, I notice. Now, normally speaking, you don't see that many departures to the south from this runway. It is most typically used as a secondary runway for departures to the north. It is because we have wind blowing from the south and that Kaagbaan is closed for this week that this configuration is now active. So this is not representative busyness, unfortunately. Got another airplane ready to go to Aberdeen, Embraer 190, KLM flight 1443. In the meantime, we also have an arriving EasyJet A320neo arriving from London Heathrow. Got another approaching airplane ready to depart. Looks like another Embraer 190. Yeah, that is going to Gdansk in a minute. Well, and it hasn't even left from the ground and the next airplane is already lining up. How about that? Definitely a little bit more action today, at least over here. How about we close the Kaagbaan forever? I think I'm already liking this configuration, this runway configuration, better than when the Kaagbaan is open. So this is KLM flight 1917 going to Gdansk in Poland. Embraer 190, 13 years old, first flight March 2010. So we're likely to see the departures of the heavies going to the United States later in the morning. Plus, if we're lucky, we might also see the A380 land on this runway. It is the preferential runway when it is roughly on time. Now, I did not check if it was on schedule or ahead of schedule or behind schedule today. Right, was a lot of busyness in a few minutes. Did not have the time to interact with you guys. Tiri Liri, goedemorgen, good morning. Ronald, goedemorgen, good morning. Jackie, good morning. Blackburst, good morning. Flores, goedemorgen, good morning. Matt, good morning. Checking in from foggy England. GCL Streams, good morning. RW, goedemorgen. Ronnie, goedemorgen. Billy, good morning. Matteo, ciao, come stai? Peter, goedemorgen, good morning. Daniel, good morning. Camille, good morning. Doing well, thank you for asking. Hope you're doing well as well. No ducks here, Camille. Unfortunately, I am standing a little bit away from water. Just grass and a little road from tarmac over here. Good evening, John. Lars, goedemorgen. Peppy, servus. Schön, dass du auch wieder dabei bist. Hoffe, es geht dir gut. Big Al, good morning, mate. Leo, goedemorgen. Ricardo, goedemorgen. Hey there, John Freddy, good morning. Mike Wild, good morning. Wendy, goedemorgen. Goed je weer te zien. Hopelijk gaat het goed. Tiger, good morning. Goedemorgen. Hey, Gosse Kerel, goedemorgen. Daar staan we dan. JD, good morning. Checking in from Düsseldorf. Okay, Liwe, thank you for the update. The A380 expected around 1:30. Hans-Joachim, guten Morgen. Schön, dass du auch wieder dabei bist. Hey there, John Platt, good morning. Niels, goedemorgen. Bart, goedemorgen. En Leen, goedemorgen. Alright, I think I am caught up. back to the camera controls for now. A320neo from SAS arriving from Oslo. SAS flight 821. Now this airplane is a year old. First flight was in April 2022. Hey Kev, good morning. New to the channel, hope you're liking it over here. Welcome, and welcome to all other viewers who might be new to the channel as well. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. First time on a different location. Normally it's not as busy as it is today over here. It is because of the yearly maintenance of Kaagbaan that this runway is more thoroughly used. At the moment it is being constantly used, in fact. And the nice thing about this runway is that it is being used interchangeably between departures and arrivals. Got the A5 highway over here. Got an airplane coming over here. A319 EasyJet arriving from Birmingham, landed on the Polderbaan, taxiing back to the gate, has to go around the runway. Which means it is going to come around the corner and in front of us. GCL streams. Sad by the looks of it that there are no ducks over here. And also celebrating 2 months of membership. Thank you so much for your ongoing support, buddy. Yeah, this is unfortunately a location where the water is a bit further away. There is water over here, naturally. All the runways of Schiphol are bordered by waters, by canals. Now further up we have a narrow body that is doing a turn and burn start, an Embraer 190 going to London City. Morning Josh, good to see you again, hope all is well. Trira Dial, good morning. Malaysia Airlines, goedemorgen. Gaat goed? Big Al asks if Russell the Crow is around. That's a good question, let me have a look in a minute. I do hear some twittering of birds, chirping. Don't think it is a crow necessarily. Got a bigger bird coming up to depart from over here. American Airlines flight 221 going to Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. We also have a 777 from KLM arriving from Johannesburg that is approaching, that has just landed on the Polderbaan. Now, I'm standing here and I do hear some chirping in this direction, although I'm not seeing it. We have the runway lights over here. This is where arriving traffic should be coming from. We do see a little airplane that has just taken off and has turned around and is continuing to fly north. For reference, I'm trying to see if I can spot the Polderbaan tower, but I think the buildings are in the way. If I'm not mistaken, it should be over there somewhere. The trees and the farms are in the way a little bit. Right, so this is Delta Airlines flight 221, Boeing 7878 Dreamliner going to Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. This airplane is 8 years old. First flight was in August 2015. And also a butt shot of sorts. KDA, good day to you. Hey there, Sock. Good morning. Sander, goedemorgen. Mr. Cole, good morning, Lance. Good to see you. Hope all is well. The big bird's great buck I've already got. Most Dike Canal waterfall withdrawal syndrome. Do I have Polderbaanitis? Yes, definitely. That sounds exactly like it. It's only curable with pure whiskey, IV. Get the delusions out. Get the fever out. We've got Shamrock going to Cork, flight 841, Airbus A320, 19 years old, first flight July 2004. It will be photobombed, however, by KLM flight 592, which is a 777-300ER arrived from Johannesburg, 5-year-old airplane. First flight September 2017. PHBVU by the looks of it. An airplane waiting. And we've got an airplane lined up. This is still the Aer Lingus. It hasn't taken off yet. Good morning, Preacher. Good morning, Tin Win Mint. Hey there, Ian. Good morning. Paula, good morning. Marlene, good morning. Zach Eisen, who is starting a new job at the Awesome. Congrats, man. And good morning. Right. And as Aer Lingus takes to the skies, KLM flight 1167 is lining up. Boeing 737-800 going to Helsinki, Finland in a minute. 4-year-old airplane. First flight was March 2019. Got an A330 next. A330-300 going to Houston, Texas. KLM flight 661 on the left hand side. You might hear it already. Right, Airbus A330-300, KLM flight 661 going to Houston, Texas. 11-year-old airplane, first flight was in March 2012. Eversteria, good morning. Eversteria asks if there are any Friday ducks. Well, unfortunately, mate, this is a location where the water is a bit further away. I could stand closer to water, but then I would also be more in line with the glide slope, and I need to have a little offset, otherwise the camera is having difficulties following, and me following incoming traffic. I haven't tested it yet because they stopped arriving as I was setting up, so I'm hoping with the way my camera is set up right now I am able to follow the airplanes. Might also have to change maybe the resistance in the axis of my tripod if it turns out they're too hard. We'll find out soon enough, because this runway will eventually be used for departures again, I'm sure of it. So yeah, I think I can show you there is a little bit of water just further up ahead. There's also a stream that I think goes just in front of this little fence, and the one over there. So no ducks in the immediate vicinity, unfortunately, over here. Hopefully I can compensate that a little bit with more traffic on the ground, more airplanes to see. It is nice and busy over here right now. Hopefully it's going to stay that way all the time. Again, this is not representative of normal operations. It is just because the Kaagbaan is now closed for maintenance that this runway is being used more intensively. Normally departures from this runway are to the north, so it is rather exceptional that they already take off to the south. And also that the runway is being used all day is also rather exceptional. But yeah, as my geography teacher used to say, vraag niet hoe het kan, maar profiteer ervan. Don't ask how or why, just profit because of it. Which is a rough literal translation that doesn't sound that good in English, I know. But I think you get the gist of it. Emirates Sky Cargo Flight 9920 arrived from Aguadilla. 777 freighter, 10 years old, first flight November 2012. Standing in the way, rolling in the way. Blocking the view of the runway. Got a Dreamliner coming. We've got an, let's see, bigger bird departing. Airbus A330-200 going to Sint Maarten. KLM flight 787 that was. 16-year-old airplane, first flight November 2006. Next to depart is a 737-800 KLM flight 1127 going to Copenhagen. Oh, and we've got a beautiful Nordica coming this way. So much to see. Information overload. Johan en El, goedemorgen. Alexander, good morning. Alex, good morning. Paul, good morning. Miss Wolves, good morning. Hey there, Donna, good morning. Inda Sumarjadi, good morning. Peter Muller, good morning. Hope all is well. If I forgot somebody, my apologies. There's so much to see, including this Nordica. This would be SAS flight 1553 Nordica CRJ 900 that just landed coming from Stockholm. 12-year-old airplane. First flight January 2011. Now, this being runway 18 center, with the track record, we might get a chance to see the A380 really up close later. Lieve already mentioned that the ETA was 1:30 p.m. local time. Obviously I'm going to stick around until then. Definitely. Did bring along 3 pints of water because it is warm. You guys already know, we've got an Indian summer over here, both in the Netherlands and the UK. Temperatures yesterday rose to 30 degrees Celsius or 90 Fahrenheit. And it's expected that the same will happen today, tomorrow and on Sunday too. Even until Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. Yesterday we did have a slight breeze at the Polderbaan. Over here at the moment it is, in terms of wind, more calm so far than it has been yesterday. Hoping as the morning progresses, the wind will also pick up just a little bit. We have wind blowing from the southeast, if I'm not mistaken. Let's have a look. 13005 KVK, 21 degrees. Yeah. Ticker is rather boring in that respect. KVK and no sig all the time. Wind will probably not change drastically. Temperature will only increase. So what does it look like over here? Maybe a good time to have a quick look around. This is looking to the south, obviously. And this is looking to the west. This is looking to the east. And this would be looking to the north, where once this runway will be used for arrivals, the arriving traffic will be coming from. Alrighty. Got KLM flight 601 going to LAX, spooling up. So let me shut up. I have to say I hear more of the birds chirping. This is about 700 meters or so, if Google Earth is correct. I'm standing from the threshold. Now my camera can zoom in decently, but I'm not sure if the sound travels that far. KLM flight 601 going to LAX, 787-10 Dreamliner, 3 years old, first flight, November 2019. Droogbier, goedemorgen. Ali, good morning. Vasil, good morning. T-Mac, good morning. Marius, goedemorgen kerel. Patrick, good morning, goedemorgen. Now let's have a look, see how... Well, no, this airplane is going to go towards Leiden first, probably turn around towards the North Sea in the vicinity of my hometown. We're not going to see it turn around all the way, I think. Do have the moon out once again. Now, zooming in further digitally, it's no use because of the seeing, the turbulence in the atmosphere, and also because I don't have a telescope mount on which the camera is positioned. So, yesterday already noticed when I let go of the camera, you could see the moon move away. Being zoomed in so far, you can see the movement of the Earth, or at least it's the apparent movement of the moon due to the movement of the Earth. Hey! Is that Russell? Did he follow me over here? My man! It is, I think it is. Such a bro, never letting his bros down. Hey Vinny, goedemorgen, good morning. Right, got another Shamrock A320, flight 603 going to Dublin. It is an A320, 15 years old, first flight November 2007. In the meantime, there's an EasyJet A320neo arriving on the right hand side. Just landed on Polderbaan from Prague, Czech Republic. Also, Air Baltic A220. Now, if there's one airplane that you already don't hear when it is spooling up, it is the A220. Considering how the big birds are also barely audible from over here. Now, I was setting up and airplanes were landing here. I can promise you landings are going to be loud. Maybe the microphone volume will be too loud for it. If it is, do let me know. You can change the settings quite easily. I think for now, with arriving traffic and just taxiing traffic, the volume is probably best to have it a bit higher than normal. Right, so A320neo arrived from Prague, Czech Republic. 1-year-old airplane, first flight July 2022. Right, it's getting busy. Got a few narrow bodies that will precede the A330, as you can see. Hey Bart, morgen. Nee, niet het bruggetje. (737-700) arrived from Geneva, KLM flight 1926. Nelson, good morning. WD Computer, good morning. Anne, goedemorgen. Right, so in the distance you can see an Embraer 175 that is going to Dublin, KLM flight 945. 6-year-old airplane, first flight May 2017. Got an A330neo over here, going to Salt Lake City. We've got a Lufthansa A320 that has landed from Munich, which is going to be followed by a 7879 from KLM that arrived from Austin, Texas. The 7879 Dreamliner that is arriving from Austin, Texas. Beautifully illuminated by the sun from this angle. And good morning to Tune Low channel. Javad, good morning. Hope everybody is doing alright. Stupid blue airplanes photo bombing the moment. The A330neo took off on its way to Salt Lake City. More bluebirds coming. Another 7879, this one going to Minneapolis. This is KLM flight 655, 7879 Dreamliner going to Minneapolis, Minnesota. This airplane is 7 years old. Its first flight was in January 2016. And good morning, Eddie. Indeed, a new location. Not sure if it is going to be a structural new location though, because the runway usage today is special and mostly due to the fact that the Kaagbaan 0624 is closed for maintenance, yearly maintenance. Normally this runway does not get used so intensively, also not for departures and arrivals the entire day often, and also not for departures to the south, such as now. Most of the time when this runway gets used for departures, it is to the north, secondary to the Polderbaan. It usually is a secondary runway for arrivals from the north. Now, speaking of arrivals from the north, we are expecting the A380 later today, and it is expected to arrive around 1:30. So based on runway usage over the preceding days, I am thinking that there's a high probability that this runway will be open for arrivals by the time the A380 will land, and that will probably mean it is going to land on this runway but now that I have said this out loud, I surely have jinxed it. So for whatever reason, we are maybe going to see a different outcome, but that's okay. I can always come back tomorrow and try again. This is KLM flight 747, another 7879 Dreamliner going to Bogota in Colombia. 6-year-old airplane, first flight August 2017. Hey there, Pap Transit, good morning. Guten Morgen, checking in from sunny Krefeld, where it is also nice and sunny. I think most of Europe now is under the influence of a big high pressure area, if I'm not mistaken. Rod, good morning mate, checking in from SoCal. Hope all is well. Just for a few minutes. Oh well, better set the alarm then. A few minutes can quickly escalate to a few hours if you're not careful. Right. Croatia Airlines A320 arrived from Zagreb, Star Alliance livery. On the tarmac is KLM flight 605 787-10 Dreamliner going to San Francisco. The airplane is 3 years old, first flight October 2019, and a Lufthansa A320 is going to photobomb the moment in a few seconds. Hey Tina, good morning. Happy Friday to you. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. Martin, goedemorgen kerel. Alles lekker? Carol Ann, good morning. If I didn't say hi already, apologies. Welcome to all other viewers as well. You're watching AMS Live. We're standing on the northern threshold of 18C, being used for departures at the moment, but will also be used for arrivals later today. The traffic taxiing around it has landed on Polderbaan, has to go around because this runway is in use right now. There is a queue forming at the moment for departing traffic, as you guys can see. On the threshold right now we've got Air Baltic flight 858 going to Tallinn, an Airbus A320-300, 1-year-old airplane. First flight was in February 2022. And Big Al, thank you so much for gifting 5 AMS Live memberships. Very much appreciated. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge to all new members. Now, not sure why the A220 is waiting. In the meantime, a 737-800 from Tanon is coming. We'll be passing in foreground from the right in a few moments. You are probably hearing it already. Arriving from Bucharest. JDV, goedemorgen. Jaap en Co. From Gouda in Zuid-Holland. And also here tractors passing by. A bit further away, and not on the cycling path, but on the public road. Hey there, Gillian. Good morning. Good to see you. Hope all is well. And indeed, what Eddie is saying, strike the like, work the algo, etc., etc. Always saying stuff like that makes food come up from my stomach back up. Here we have Speedbird flight 429 going to London Heathrow in a minute. A320, 11 years old, first flight December 2011. And we also have, is that another A330neo? Looks like it, yeah. Going to Seattle, Delta Airlines flight 143. And a little Embraer shortcutting. Hey Paul, goedemorgen. Who is checking in from Baarn in het Gooi? And indeed, Matt, those A318s are nice and little dinky. It's almost like they're a toy, aren't they? I think there are actually people that have them as private jets. Oh dear, Lance is having duct withdrawal symptoms. That's not good. Maybe a dosage of Queen can fix it. Cathay Pacific Cargo. Now hopefully it is, well no, it's probably going to take the southern threshold because it has to go to the cargo area. Got a special livery A330 Team USA. Delta Airlines flight 143. A330neo going to Seattle, Washington State. In the foreground, passing from the right, is KLM flight 984, Embraer 190, arrived from London City. I think the Queen is going to take a right-hand turn and will go around the southern threshold, but I might be wrong and I'm hoping I am. Patrick, goedemorgen. Ian has to go. Thank you for joining. You have a nice day as well. See you soon, buddy. Hey René, goedemorgen. Checking in from Spijkenisse, Rotterdam area. Sylvester, good morning. Checking in from Manchester. And it is a nice livery, isn't it, Peter? The Team USA. Was that because it transported the USA delegation to the Olympics or so? Something? You'd almost think so. Oh, well, we've got a pleasant surprise. The Queen has made a left-hand turn and is coming our way. Getting an up-close and personal shot of the Cathay Pacific 747 and the Delta A330 behind it. got the 737-800 going to London Heathrow. Danny, goedemorgen. Dutchie 66. Good morning. Farhan, good morning. Speedbird 1, good morning. And no, I haven't been evicted, just thought because we have different runway usage, better optimize making use of it, and you don't get a chance to have so much traffic as we do right now on this runway, on this position as normal. Has to do with the closure of the Kaafbaan. So as of next week, assuming that the maintenance work is done in time, as of the 12th, the normal runway usage will resume again. So it's only a temporary situation, so better make use of it. Now, got a few big hitters over here. Got the Surinam Airways A340 300 going to Paramaribo in a few minutes, and from here we can see just how slow she takes to the skies and climbs. Cathay Pacific Cargo 747, and we've got an A350 from Delta behind it. I need more cameras. So the Cathay Pacific Cargo 7478 has arrived from Dubai, 11 years old. First flight was in November 2011. And here we have Delta Airlines flight 74, A350, 900. Arrived from Atlanta, Georgia. 4 years old, first flight June 2019, and over here we have Surinam Airlines A340 300 going to Paramaribo, flight 993, 15-year-old airplane, first flight April 2008. In the foreground we are going to see an A330-300 pass by. Delta Airlines Flight 48 that has arrived from New York JFK, 7-year-old airplane, first flight April 2016. Behind it we have KLM Flight 598 arriving from Cape Town, South Africa, 777-300ER, 8 years old, first flight February 2015. And no suck, this airport is always busy. It is the runway configuration and my positioning over here that captures a lot of the action right now because we're at the crossroads of outbound and inbound traffic, and normally it's all separated. But because of the closure due to maintenance of runway 0624, we now see all the airplanes that have arrived from Polderbaan taxi in the foreground. They have to go around the threshold of the runway we're standing in line with. And this runway is used for both inbound and outbound on and off. And the airplanes now take off to the south. This one very slowly, in fact. Legendary A340 and its tremendous climb rate. Normally they don't take off in this direction but in the opposite direction. They would come towards us. They take off to the north. So this is all rather exceptional and has to do with the closure of runway 0624 due to yearly maintenance, which is scheduled to be until the 12th. So just this weekend, and if all goes well, then as of next week the normal procedures would resume again, and it is not going to be so busy as it is right now over here anymore then, unfortunately. But Schiphol is always this busy. It's just that normally the flow of inbound and outbound traffic is separated more, which is, I think, a downside of this airport, that you don't get to see so much traffic. When you're standing next to one runway, it's all in or outbound, and that's it. So that is why I thought it would be a good idea to go over here today, because not only is the runway being used for both inbound and outbound, but you also have the constant flux of taxiing traffic from Polderbaan to the main platform area, which is still here we have the ATC tower, and you can see a bit better from over here the terminal building. That's where the gates are, so it is still a significant taxi for the airplanes from Polderbaan over here, and now they have to go around this runway as well. Alrighty, KLM flight 743 going to Lima in Peru, 777-300 ER, 6 years old, first flight January 2017. Hey Mr. Meister, goedemorgen, good morning buddy. The first day of a 3-week vacation, so we are going to see Mr. Meister more frequently in the live chat as well, presumably. Good to see you buddy, fijne vakantie, hope all is well over there. Stupid airplanes in the foreground blocking our view. Trying to make a decent stream. Constantly get interrupted by airplanes that are moving in front of what I'm filming. I should write a complaint letter to Schiphol. The brutality. Got more Dreamliner stuff coming in from United. (7879) United flight 968 has arrived from San Francisco, 7-year-old airplane. First flight was in February 2016. Hey Roy, goedemorgen. Hoe is het kerel? Hope you're doing well. Science owns imposters, good morning. Good to see you again. Got KLM flight 755 going to Quito over here. KLM flight 755, 777-200 ER, 17 years old, first flight April 2006. Got another Dreamliner coming in from the right, KLM flight 749 that has arrived from Cartagena. Delta Airlines A330 lining up over here on 18C. I need to lower my panhandle just 1 or 2 notches, so let me fixate the tripod, fix that quickly. Squeaky thread, but as long as it locks properly, that's the most important thing. There we go. Morning, Peter. Hope all is well. Right, Delta A330 spooling up, going to Detroit, Michigan. Delta Airlines Flight 135, 19-year-old airplane. The downside from this location is that you don't hear the spool up that well. It's a bit of a letdown, but I'm otherwise very much thrilled so far with what we are seeing over here. A lot of activity. Right, Embraer 175, KLM flight 1485 going to Humberside, 5-year-old airplane, first flight October 2017. And yet another Dreamliner passing us by over here. KLM flight 644, 787-10 Dreamliner that has arrived from New York JFK. And radio HF and SW asks, have I missed any Queens? In fact, you have. Not so much landing on this runway or taking off from this runway, but taxiing past us. A 747-8 from Cathay Pacific Cargo. 15 or 20 minutes or so ago. Maybe even less. Did not keep track of time. Alright, an airplane that is not on flight radar by the looks of it. It's not when I have filters for inbound, outbound AMS engaged. An all-white ghost airplane or wedding dress livery airplane. The Embraer 175 taking to the skies. And another Delta A330 that is going to take off from 18C. This would be Delta Airlines Flight 73 going to Atlanta, Georgia. Good evening, Malcolm. Good to see you again. Brian, good morning. Happy Friday to you too, my friend. And with all the lights of the runway visible, doesn't it look like Christmas? Well, the weather certainly doesn't. Or maybe an Aussie Christmas. I'm assuming you guys always celebrate Christmas on the beach in the midst of summer. Alright, I'm seeing a Qatar in the distance that has arrived from Polderbaan that has taken a right-hand turn, and it seems like a Delta is doing the same. Or is it going to cross the runway? Hey, interesting. Are they going to change it for the runway usage again? I think this might be indicative that the runway is no longer being used for departures, but will be used for arrivals instead. Proof of the pudding. See if my mount is set up so that I can follow the airplanes properly. Haven't tested it yet. Might fail. And have to adjust some settings perhaps. Not sure if the zoom speed is fast enough and if my camera is on the right drag settings, the tripod. I think the fact that this airplane has just crossed the runway is indicative of a runway change coming up. In fact, I think I already see an approaching airplane on flight radar. Can I see something? Where do I need to look? Don't have a frame of reference for this new location. Oh, I think I do see something. Let's see, that's in between the traffic lights and then... Yes. Two airplanes coming this way. Now, let's have a look. First up is number 175. Has arrived from Prague. KLM flight 1352. Flight time 1 hour and 9 minutes. 6-year-old airplane. First flight January 2017. Let's also take a quick sip of water. Now, I'm also not sure about the microphone setting. Could be that it is a little bit too loud. If it is, do let me know. Let's see. Let's see if... Alright, how was that in terms of sound? Dutchie says, prima, lekker geluid. Lekker hoor, prima geluid, sound perfect, okay. Next up, 737-800 from Corendon Airlines. Where is it? Still getting my bearings. Let's see, over there. At least I have traffic lights that I can use as a frame of reference. Corendon Airlines, flight 414-737-800, arriving from Billund, 47 minutes of flight time, 11 years old, first flight November 2011. Okay, sounds good, great. These are just the small birds. Let's see what happens if a 747 comes crashing by. Let alone the A380. Holy fuck, I'm not sure if I can zoom out enough to show it in its entirety. Probably not. Robert says, come on boy, try to touch the landing gear. Yeah, I will jump up next time with the next airplane passing over. Hey Captain Eddie Bos, good day to you my friend. Hope all is well. Got some blue tractors over here as well. Looks like a vintage model. A little bit faded blue. Now, this Azzurro we all know as the Azzurro from ITA Air. It is arriving from Rome, flight 108, flight time 2 hours precisely. 14-year-old airplane, first flight April 2009. The next airplane coming in is a 737-700 from KLM, but flying for Transavia as flight 6820, arriving from Ljubljana in Slovakia. And Rick asks if I am going to be early birding when he goes to Stockholm. Mate, that is a little bit early. I think that is a bit too early for me, unfortunately. The 737-700 arriving from Ljubljana, KLM airplane, flying for Transavia, flight time 1.5 hours, 12-year-old airplane, first flight February 2011. Doing a little bit of experimentation here. On my handlebar I have a different zoom setting than on the camera itself, so I have two zoom rockers that I can use with two different speeds. I'm thinking maybe I can use the fast zoom out here, maybe also the zoom in. Let me see. That way capture the entire airplane as it passes by instead of just the engines or the center part. First time at this location, it is a little trial and error on my end. E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Zurich next. KLM flight 1954, flight time 1 hour and 9 minutes. 1-year-old airplane, first flight November 2, 2021. And thanks for the feedback, Robert, who says sound is great, by the way. Hey Tom, goedemorgen. Oh, Mighty MKO is next. Nice. If he has the cameras on this flight, then indeed we might get a cameo on his video as well. Alrighty, next up. No, this is not Transavia. This is Aegean A320neo. Flight 3624, arriving from Athens, flight time 2 hours 54 minutes, brand new airplane, first flight July 2023. Sumo Burger, I think you guessed that right. That is a little bit too early. And yes, Francis, I am well anchored. The camera tripod always is anchored to the ground with tent wires into the ground for each of the legs. After my earlier tripod fell over during windy conditions, I took some precautionary measures, and it also helps just to film more stably also when it isn't windy. So my tripod and camera falling over, not going to happen again unless someone falls on it. But wind or the jet blast will never do that. I have to say, a little bit of wind is nice. Happy that it is blowing a little bit, or maybe that is just a jet blast, I don't know, but definitely welcoming. Two airplanes visible in the distance. Got an Embraer 175 coming in from Stuttgart, followed by an E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Oslo. This is KLM flight 1868. Flight time 55 minutes. The airplane is 5 years old. First flight February 2018. And I don't know, Tom, I haven't been on the 2000 L-weg, so wouldn't know. And that would be the wake turbulence that you hear. You can hear that same sound when at the Kaagbaan. Alrighty, let's quickly turn around. Got an E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Oslo. Up next. And Ross in BC asks, is this still the Polderbaan runway? No mate, it isn't. We're standing on the north side of runway 18 center. And the airplanes that you could see earlier taxiing around the runway were landing airplanes that arrived on Polderbaan, which I'm not seeing at the moment anymore. They're not coming via the northern threshold at least. Two airplanes visible in the distance. An Embraer 175 from KLM arriving from Bremen and a Transavia 737 that is arriving from Verona. And indeed, photo for you, ATC is already chatting. Oh, is that boy at center? Right, A380 is going to Polderbaan today. That'll show him. I'll betcha. Alrighty. Next up, a Transavia 737 arriving from Verona. Transavia flight 5466. 737-800, flight time 1 hour and 28 minutes. Definitely a little breeze after the landing, so probably the jet blasts. Well, in that case, I'm very happy with that. Further up, the next airplane already. Two airplanes visible. Let me have a quick look. This would be a 737 arriving from Vienna, and behind it is an Embraer 175 arriving from Nuremberg. Alrighty. Embraer 175, KLM flight 1884, arrival from Nuremberg, 55 minutes of flight time, 6-year-old airplane, first flight September 2016. Right, got the Embraer 190 from Frankfurt up next. It is already visible. Let's see, where is it? There we go. KLM flight 1764. Flight time 42 minutes, 13-year-old airplane, first flight February 2010. And another Embraer 175 behind it, arriving from Gothenburg. And good morning, Kevin H. Good to see you. Good to see you all. All other viewers who have joined in the meantime, welcome as well. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing at the threshold, the northern threshold of runway 18C. It has already been used for departures. Now it is being used for arrivals. Mostly due to runway 0624, the Kaagbaan, being closed for maintenance. At least this week. Normally it would not be as busy as it has been thus far. This is a KLM flight 1154, which is an Embraer 175 coming back home from Gothenburg. Flight time 1 hour and 9 minutes. 6-year-old airplane, first flight February 2017. Alright, we've got an Embraer 190 coming up next. KLM flight 986. Arriving from London City, there is another airplane visible behind it already. And that would be an EasyJet A320neo arriving from Copenhagen. The Embraer 190 arriving from Billund, KLM flight 1342, flight time 47 minutes, 14-year-old airplane, first flight January 2009. Alright, next up, EasyJet flight 27936, an A320neo arriving from Copenhagen, where it left an hour exactly ago. Brand new airplane, and the first flight of this airplane was June this year. Alright, next up is going to be a CRJ from SAS. Yeah, where is it? Barely visible, but there it is. SAS flight 1547. It is a CRJ 900 long range, arriving from Copenhagen, where it left an hour and a minute ago. 6-year-old airplane, first flight August 2017. Right, our next airplane is going to be an Embraer 190, arriving from Manchester. Looking forward to seeing some big birds, but so far it has only been the narrow bodies that have been assigned to land on center. KLM flight 1072 this is, arriving from Manchester, where it left 48 minutes ago. The airplane is 14 years old. First flight was in June 2009. So having a look further out. Narrow body so far. Looking around, I'm hearing a turboprop, but it is not so high that it produces a contrail. In fact, I'm not seeing that many contrails at all today. Now, cannot see where it is coming from. I do see two more airplanes coming this way, already having their lights on. First airplane to arrive is going to be an A321neo from Pegasus, arriving from Istanbul. Flight time 2 hours and 58 minutes. Brand new airplane. Will be celebrating its first birthday next month. First flight was in October 2022. After that is Austrian Airlines A320 arriving from Vienna. Right, the next airplane coming up. Arriving from Vienna is Austrian Airlines flight 379 A320. Flight time 1 hour and 22 minutes. The airplane is 22 years old. First flight was in December 2000. Right, next up is going to be an Embraer 190 from KLM arriving from Aalborg, flight 1330. There it is. Flight time 1 hour and 1 minute. The airplane is 11 years old. Its first flight was in January 2012. Hey Remco, goedemorgen kerel. Now let's have a look. It's all narrow bodies so far. Got another Embraer E2-195. This time it is arriving from Stockholm, KLM flight 1106. Flight time is 1 hour and 38 minutes. 1-year-old airplane. First flight was in March 2022. Hey there Yorkshire, good morning mate. Good to see you, hope all is well. Yorkshire likes the new location. Maybe I will put out a poll or something, see what you guys are thinking of this location. Now bear in mind, this is only this week that it is both inbound and outbound in the same direction, and normally it's not so busy as it has been earlier in the morning over here. So it's not likely going to be a very regular spot, just because the traffic is not representative for normal airport operations, unfortunately. It has to do with the closure of runway 0624 this week due to yearly maintenance. But yeah, we're standing at the threshold of 18C. In case you didn't know yet, the runway that has been used for departures and arrivals on and off. And when this runway is being used, not seldomly do you also see traffic from Polderbaan taxiing around the northern threshold. We already saw that earlier in the morning. The airplanes passing by in front of us as airplanes on this runway were taking off. Right now the runway is used secondary to the Polderbaan for arrivals. We're standing just to the side of the glide slope, as you guys can see. I'm doing fine, Yorkshire, thank you for asking. Like the jet wash breeze that is blowing right now. Otherwise it is a little warm. Yesterday too, quite a warm day. It's not going to change in the upcoming days, at least not until Tuesday. We've got two airplanes visible in the distance. We've got an EasyJet A319 arriving from Venice, and behind it is a 737-800 that is arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. Trying to see if I can show you guys an airplane landing on Polderbaan, just to give you a little information of where we are standing right here, but not seeing anything. So let's just focus on this next airplane. EasyJet A319 arriving from Venice. Flight time 1.5 hours. The airplane is 14 years old. First flight March 2009. Now, a little disappointing is that all the traffic that has landed on Polderbaan is crossing the runway via the southern threshold and not via the northern. Otherwise they would have passed us by over here, coming from the right, moving to the left, and then moving away from us again. Maybe we'll get to see that later again. Right now we have this 737 approaching quickly, arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. Oh, and I did something wrong on Flight Radar, because now my map shows Paris Charles de Gaulle instead of Amsterdam. Not exactly what I need to look at. Pinch, pinch, pinch. Oh. Let's see if I can quickly fix that. Where am I now? Denmark. Oh, this is too far zoomed out and too northerly. Right, this is better. Oh, sweet. Let me turn around the camera quickly, because we have the first heavy to approach. It is a 777-300 ER, no less. Arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao, KLM flight 736. Flight time 8 hours and 42 minutes right now. The airplane 2 years old. First flight January 2021. Alright, this will be a nice test to see how it sounds like when a heavy passes by. A 777-300 ER. I'm expecting that nice whir that you always hear, and also hear so well from the side when you're standing next to the Kaagbaan. And over here we are a bit more up close, so got high hopes for this. Might get loud, ladies and gentlemen, so bear in mind. Nice. That is the wind. The turbulence, the wake turbulence, causing a little wind and some shakiness in the camera footage. And that is also the wake turbulence sound that you heard just now. Beautiful. Well, that was very satisfactory. If you think that was loud, brace yourself. We've got an A330 up next, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, the heavies are arriving on 18C as well. Delta Airlines, flight 136, arriving from Detroit, Michigan. Current flight time 6 hours and 58 minutes. The airplane is 18 years old. First flight July 2005. 3 things to listen for: the engine sound as it passes over, the wake turbulence sound, and also the sound of the reverser, which I think might also carry to where we are standing. Dave A2010, good morning. You tuned in just in time. How about I fixate the tripod in this position? No Hans, still no Sint Maarten, absolutely not, but getting closer than ever. Now, that 777 was a nice catch. Lance says, thank you for that, first of all, and second of all, let's do a rerun, shall we? Air Canada flight 808 arriving from YYZ Toronto, Canada. 777-200 long range, 6.5 hours on the way, 15-year-old airplane, first flight January 2008. Look at it with its sunglasses or bank rubber look. Boy, it's windy all of a sudden. There we go, fixated the tripod. Alright, awesome. Now, are we going to see more traffic to this runway? I'm curious to see what the 737 arriving from Bari from Transavia up in the north is going to do. Oh, I think we might have another runway change incoming. Look at that A330, it is crossing. Or is that an A330? Looks like an A330, right? Is that a triple? Am I starting to get blind as well? Oh dear. Yeah, 777. I already was looking, where are the winglets? Just looking at the nose, I thought, oh, that is an A330, but it is a triple. The fact that it is crossing now, the fact that the lights are also off again. We've got a runway change upcoming. Let's have a look. Right, so now we have the airplane shortcutting for a moment. I'm thinking we are going to see outbound traffic soon. They might also do a runway inspection in the meantime. Great moment to also grab a sip of water. And Arjan, goedemorgen. Very short clips, good morning. Jody, good morning. Mini Wolves 13. Dex says good morning. All the people that I forgot, my apologies. Takes a little bit of focus operating the camera over here. Lame excuse, I know. Welcome one and all. New location today, if you hadn't noticed yet. We're standing at the end of the center runway. Just now has been used for arrivals, arrivals. Earlier in the morning, in the beginning of the stream, it was being used for departures, and now the lights of the runway are out again. Air traffic is crossing in the distance. Looks very likely that in a few minutes we are going to see departures once again take place from this runway. I was wondering, should I go to 18 left or 18C? Never been to both. But I figured 18 left is only departures all the time. The unique selling point of Center right now, in this week at least, is that it is being switched between secondary for landings and for departures. Or at least has been since the Kaagbaan has been closed for maintenance. Plus you have the taxi traffic around the runway threshold from Polderbaan. Robert says you might should wear some ear protection. I'm not sure. The volume itself in decibels might be loud, but the duration of the exposure is of course very brief. And I think it is a multiplication of the intensity times the duration of exposure that determines whether or not you can get damage or not. If you were standing in air traffic noises all day, then obviously it would become too loud. But when those heavies pass over, it is just a second or so. And I'm not sure how many decibels it is. I think maybe if you go to a dance festival, the volume might be louder. James Carey misses the ducks. Yeah, that's the downside of where I'm currently standing. There is water a bit further. Let me put away my water bottle. Show you in a minute. There is of course water between the runway area and the location I'm standing at. So there is a body of water, a little canal that is also passing in front of these fences. This one and that one. If you go to this fence, you will see that there is a little canal passing. However, it doesn't seem to be very occupied with ducks as far as I can see from over here. But you can't have it all. Bird controller is doing a runway inspection, it seems like. Flashlights on and all. So it's probably going to take a few more minutes and then we'll probably see the first airplanes taxi to the threshold to depart from over here. And good evening to James Talk. Jolanda, goedemorgen. Checking in from Zwolle area. Jono, good morning mate. Hope all is well. Hope everybody is doing well. Some of you might have already have weekend. Others almost. There's also a windsock over there I see now. It's not doing a lot. Let me also take this moment to update the meter in the ticker. It's not going to be very different significantly, just the wind and temperature will probably have changed, but still, when there are no airplanes passing over, I don't feel that much wind actually. Yesterday it was windier than it was today, or at least at Polderbaan yesterday it was windier than it is today. But yeah, we had 10 knot wind then and now it is 4 knots. From 190 degrees, I'm copy pasting the meter, the meter into the ticker as we speak. 25C in the meantime, so it has become a bit warmer. It was 21 in the meter earlier. Now it has increased to 25 Celsius, so that is approximately 80 Fahrenheit. Rick, goedemorgen. It is a bit busy with everything going on, but it is nice to do. Having fun. That's the most important thing, isn't it? Doing something you like doing. Granted, it is a little warm. But then again, it is September, so can't complain. Shouldn't complain, I should say. Got air traffic. The road traffic over here. This is the A5 highway that runs between the center runway and the Polderbaan, parallel to the runways. There is a little tunnel in the highway where the taxiing air traffic passes over the highway. That looks like German Airways. Yeah, KLM Emirates 190, but arriving from Newcastle, but German Airways. Hey Sven, goedemorgen. Chris, good morning. Mir geht es gut, danke. Hoffe es geht dir auch gut. Schönes Wetter, da wahrscheinlich auch. Viel Sonnenschein. Hey Jos, goedemorgen. Indeed, new location. Don't think it's going to be a staple of the locations that I'll be streaming from, but at least in this week it is a nice location where you can film inbound traffic, outbound traffic, taxiing traffic around the runway. At the moment it's a bit quiet, but that is because the runway is being prepared for departures, if I'm not mistaken. The landing lights that were on earlier are now off. We already saw the bird controller with the flashlights on the tarmac, doing an inspection. So pretty soon I think we are going to see traffic taking off from this runway once again. Another Embraer from German Airways, Embraer 190, flying for KLM, crossing the runway, arriving from Glasgow, and a Transavia 737 will be next, arriving from Bari. Hey Han, goedemorgen kerel. Hoe is het? Good to see you again. Busy with meetings. Right. Now, looking at the app of runway usage, it seems that center has now changed to a departure runway together with left, which means we can expect air traffic coming to this runway threshold in a minute. And we might also start seeing landing traffic from the Polderbaan once again going around the northern threshold, which we also got to see earlier. That makes for a nice, vivid ambiance with a lot of things going on all at the same time. Looking at flight radar, I'm not seeing something moving in this direction just yet. So let's continue rehydrating a little bit then. I spy with my little eye a little contrail. Let's have a look, shall we? That is moving from west to east. And it is already south of me, but it is still west of me. I think it is moving a little bit from north to south as well, but mostly west to east. Not clearly recognizable a twin jet, but not seeing any letters or things on the bottom. Also not seeing any stripes, but then again, when a condor passed over each time I filmed it, I didn't see them as well looking on my camera screen. One of the few contrails I've seen so far today. So it is now south of me, still a little bit west of me, but it is soon going to move southeast of me. Also hearing a bang in the distance, bird controller doing some things. Either that or something is blowing up. Right, now let's have a look. Emirates Dubai to Dublin, Remco says. Okay, triple, nice. Oh, and Joseph says Turkish Airways to Istanbul from Boston. Now let's have a look. Looks like Delta Airlines Flight 74 A350 has been pushed back. I see. Oh, that's 777 to Tel Aviv. That is probably going to depart from left. Got a TUI Dreamliner over there. Let's have a look. Will we be seeing any 747s take off? That would be nice. And good afternoon to Zulfikar, who is tuning in from Pakistan. Good to see you again, hope all is well. Now, Embraer 190 arriving from Berlin, just landed on Polderbaan. What will it do? I'm thinking, oh, there's a spider on my hand. Okay, now it has fallen into the grass again. Always curious to see where those spiders are coming from. Okay, so still crossing. Got some Embraer 190s coming in on Polderbaan, so depending on what they are going to do, we'll also see how quickly traffic is going to use the center runway for departing. Let's have a look. Where is that traffic from Polderbaan exactly moving? Let's see. Embraer 175 arriving from Darlington is on short final. Can I see it? Alright. Let's have a look and see what we can see from landing traffic on Polderbaan. Obviously, when we are at the Polderbaan, we can also film the landing traffic for center. Wrong lantern. There we go. Traffic going to Polderbaan. Embraer 175 arriving from Darlington. Yeah, trees in the way. The same, of course, happens when standing over there. So it has landed in the meantime. Okay. Here we can see it a bit more clearly. Alright, and here it is moving behind a house. So that is a bit difficult. We're not able to see a great deal of air traffic landing on Polderbaan. It is quite low already by the time it becomes visible over here. So much is clear. Oh. Now let's have a look and see what the Embraer 190 from Hanover will do. Runway 18C has officially been designated to be a runway for departures, so I think there is already an airplane coming this way, an Embraer 190 to Aberdeen. Interesting. What kind of vehicle is that? Well, I think the Embraer 190 that arrived from Hanover should come this way or go to the southern threshold, because we have moving traffic to take off from this runway. Yeah. Right, so we are back in the configuration that we started out with, landing airplanes from Polderbaan going around this runway. And pretty soon, here we have the first airplane ready to depart already. We'll see airplanes depart. Hey there, Cathay spotter! Good morning, Jin. Hope all is well, good to see you. Alright, Embraer 190 going to Aberdeen. Not departing from the threshold, but a few exits more to the south. KLM flight 1445, 13-year-old airplane, first flight January 2010. And coming our way is an Embraer 190 from KLM that has just landed, or at least it is flying for KLM, but it is German Airways. Coming back home from Hanover. This airplane is 16 years old. First flight of this airplane was in January of the year 2007. Right, next up, KLM flight 1187. It is a Boeing 737-700 going to Bergen, 13 years old. First flight was in January 2010. And more airplanes taking off in a minute. Got an EasyJet A320neo lining up in the distance. It is EasyJet flight 27839. We'll be flying to London Stansted. Brand new airplane, i.e. less than a year old. Oh, and look at that. We even have an airplane crossing the runway. How nice. Brand new airplane, meaning less than a year old. First flight was in December 2022. And I think Delta Airlines flight 49 is on the move. A350 going to Atlanta. We'll be taking off from this runway shortly. Meanwhile, there's a pesky fly very much interested in me. Hope it flies away quickly. More airplanes crossing the runway. Embraer 190 came back from London City. Bit hazy, as you guys can see. Not uncommon with high pressure weather. I see that United flight 947 to Washington, the 767-400, also seems to be pushed back already. So I think we might see an exodus of a few America-bound heavies that will take off from this runway shortly. Now let's have a look, see what the 737 is going to do. Oh, it is turning, okay. The 737 that arrived from London Heathrow is directed around the runway, so it will be passing in the foreground in a minute. A330neo to New York JFK, Delta Airlines flight 49 in the meantime, getting closer. difficult to estimate where we are going to see that 737. First, an Embraer 175 to Oslo will take off from center. But we've got an A330neo 767-400 coming our way and a 777-200. The 737 in the meantime also coming this way, which has landed a few minutes ago on the Polderbaan, runway 18 right. Has to go around the runway threshold, and that means we get to see it up close. Alright, so it is 12:10. That means that in an hour and 20 minutes from now the daily Emirates A380 will land somewhere on Schiphol. Question is, on which runway? Will we be lucky? Will we see it overhead, or will the ATC decide something different? Right, an Embraer 190 to Dublin is cutting short. After that, a couple of heavies will be taking off. The heavies are already coming this way, as you guys can see. And here is the Embraer 190 to Dublin. Will be cutting short in front of the A330neo that is lining up over here on the threshold. KLM flight 935. Embraer 190 going to Dublin, 14-year-old airplane, first flight. October 2008. John Llewellyn, good afternoon. Good to see you. Hope all is well. Jordan, goedemiddag. Well, the A330 is going to spool up in a minute. We also have more traffic coming this way. A320, Embraer 190 and an A330-200. First, Delta A330neo, flight 49 going to New York JFK. Alright. That Air Arabia A320 arrived from Nador in Morocco. A320-200, 9 years old, first flight, June 2014. Followed by an Embraer 190 that has landed from Leeds, KLM flight 1542. 11-year-old airplane, first flight January 2012. Followed by KLM flight 765, Airbus A330-200, landed from Bonaire. 17-year-old airplane, first flight April 2006. This is United Airlines flight 947 going to Washington Dulles International. It is a 767-400 ER, 21 years old, first flight February 2002. And Angus, oh, good afternoon. Good to see you. Welcome and hope all is well. Lining up in the foreground, KLM flight 691, Boeing 777-200 ER going to Toronto, Canada. 19-year-old airplane, first flight October 2003. It's actually remarkable how little you hear from such a big airplane spooling up from behind. It's the taxiing airplane towards me that is noisier than the triple taking off. A320 Neo going to London Heathrow, approaching from the left. Animash asks, which is your favorite, A380 or 777? Well, that's a bit apples and oranges, isn't it? If I have to choose, then I think I would choose the 777. Just because it is a bit more sleek to look at than the somewhat bulky A380. Got a 737-700 that has arrived from Bergen that is also coming our way. But that is not it. It is Air Transat A321 Neo. Why am I not seeing it on flight radar? Or is it mistakenly saying that this is the 737? That is weird. Where this Air Transat is taxiing, it says 737. Oh, okay, so it is. That is behind it. The Air Transat is now not visible on flight radar for me. Interesting. probably NA as destination or something. But this is the A321neo that is coming in from, what was it? Montreal, if I'm not mistaken. And Speedbird to London Heathrow, just taking to the sky in the distance. And here is the KLM 737-700 that has arrived from Bergen. 13-year-old airplane, first flight November 2009. JD has to go again. Thanks for joining, JD. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Hope to see you later in the weekend, and otherwise, see you soon, buddy. Right, now let's have a look. SAS CRJ to Copenhagen is taxiing this way. Not seeing it just yet. Can we see it already? Yes, there it is. Coming this way. And from the other side, having landed on Polderbaan not too long ago, A737 from Transavia that has arrived from Naples. Also seeing a little spider in, or is that something different? In the fluff of my DJI mic. Seeing it just in the corner of my eyes, moving in the ferry. The windjammer. Well, there's no wind, as you guys can see in the windsock dangling in the foreground before the CRJ, but there you go. It's always good to have it on. And thank you so much, Mac G, for your kind super sticker. Per character stretching his hand forward, raising his thumb up. En Gerrit, goedemorgen. Nee, goedemiddag. Good afternoon. I got a notification of a direct donation from you yesterday, Gerrit. Thank you so much for that. Totally unnecessary, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Very kind of you, very generous as well. Thank you so much, Gerrit. And this is the end of Zwanenburgbaan. I'm standing along the Hoofdvaart on the northern side of runway 18C, which is used for both departures and for arrivals today. Plus all the traffic that has landed on Polderbaan, on occasion taxiing around the runway threshold. So when you see that on Flight Radar, this is what it looks like, and this is where it happens. Now that CRJ never made it to the runway threshold. It is taking off from it was taking off. It has taken off. So small, hard to see. Unfortunately, it didn't make it until the threshold, but lifted off from an earlier entrance. Ooh. Now, where is it? Where is it? Let me see. Manual autofocus. Oh, damn it. There was a butterfly sitting on a flower just right a meter in front of me. I thought I was going to show you guys, but then it flew away again. Am I seeing it anywhere? No. Okay, well, that is a bit of a pity. It was a lovely colored, beautifully colored butterfly. While we're waiting for the next traffic to depart from this runway, we do see the next traffic that has to go around it, that has just arrived on Polderbaan. Got two airplanes, Delta A330 and an A320neo, Delta and Vueling. The Delta A330 is arriving from Seattle, flight 144. Sixteen-year-old airplane. Had its first flight in March 2007. Got the A320neo following suit. Being so closely together, you can see the size difference quite well. And here we have an A320neo from Vueling that has arrived from Barcelona. Four-year-old airplane that had its first flight in June of the year 2019. Meanwhile, we have an Embraer 190 going to Gothenburg that is lining up on the runway to take off. KLM flight 1157, 14 years old. First flight of this airplane was in June 2009. Hey Evan, what is it? 12, oh, it's in the middle of the night. How are you, my man? Did you just come home from work? It's in the middle of the night over there on the west coast. Hope all is well over there, Evan. Right, KLM flight 1157, Embraer 190. And in roughly an hour from now, we are expecting the daily Emirates A388. Will it be landing on this runway? Will the runway be used for arrivals from 1 o'clock onward or so, as has been the case over the last couple of days? They typically switch from departures to arrivals around 1 p.m. So keep that time in mind. We'll know in half an hour. How cool would it be if that behemoth passes over just a few meters away from me? Hope I can resist the urge to duck away. Stand strong, keep filming. Okay, Evan, already home 3 or so hours ago, but you couldn't catch sleep just yet, just winding down or something. James informs if Evan is perhaps a burglar working nights. Yeah, I'm sure that if Evan were, that he would admit to that on stream. In public, I'm sure he would. Maybe he is a night pharmacist or something. On call every night for party people. EasyJet A320 that has arrived from Edinburgh. It is 13 years old. First flight April 2010. Got more happening in the distance. Got another Embraer 190 taking off, going to Stavanger, KLM flight 1201. 9-year-old airplane, first flight January 2014. And we've got a lot special livery. That is nice. Let's have a look. The Warmia Mazury region tourist investment promotional livery. Which is an Embraer 195. And arrived from Warsaw. Photo for you. Says Atlas Air 747 5 minutes on Polder. And Evan asks when I decided to stream. Well, I first went to this location before announcing it on YouTube. So it could be that I announced the stream after you checked 3 hours ago. How long have I been streaming now? Let's see. Two hours and 47 minutes ago. Yeah, I probably around 3 hours ago, three and a half hours ago, did I announce it. I was first driving on site and had a look around to see where I could, if I could set up over here, and if so, where. Did not scout this site beforehand, so took a little while, and then had to set up first. But before setting up, I did announce the live stream on YouTube. So that is probably three and a half hours or so ago. Not sure. But don't you get a notification once I post a new announcement of an upcoming live stream? And photo for you says Atlas Air 747 in 5 minutes on Polder. Let's have a look. Where is it? Oh, it is turning final right now. Oh, 757 as well, flying from Icelandair today. Let me also see if I can film the 747 once it does get in the vicinity of the runway. Not sure if we can see a whole lot of it, but let me at least give it a shot and see, perhaps for future reference, what we can see. You see C5 coming in from the west overhead, about 10 minutes. A lot has been coming overhead, but it has not been producing contrails, and a lot of the overhead traffic I have not been able to see. There is something coming directly overhead that produces a contrail right now. Twin jets. Finnair A380. Interesting that it is taking off from this runway. Although it is moving to the north, so it can do, yeah, no. Forget what I was saying. I'll use my default excuse. I'm running low on caffeine. But we've seen the Finnair A330 going to Helsinki quite often, actually standing next to the Polderbaan, and it's going to take off and make a right-hand turn and then fly to the north adjacent to the, or along the Polderbaan. Now I'm looking behind me because an Atlas Air 747 should become visible in the distance somewhere. And I'm checking to see if I can see it so that I can point the camera to it and show you the last bit of its arrival on Polderbaan. While I'm looking, let me also focus the camera on the A330. Where is it? Oh, it has just cleared the North Sea Canal. Got a Vueling A320 photo bombing in a moment from the right in the foreground, and I'm still I'm looking back and I'm seeing the Atlas Air. So let me also quickly show you guys the arrival of Atlas Air 747 on Polderbaan. Okay, there we go. Bit hazy, as you guys can see. Glad that I have my lens LCD hood to provide a little shade for my camera screen with the sun behind me. Okay, now can I also click on it? Yeah, okay, here we go. Atlas Air flight 8209 arriving from Miami, Florida. Flight time of this airplane right now 8 hours and 2 minutes. Boeing 747-400 freighter. This airplane is 21 years old. First flight was in May 2002. So this is what you can see from over here when you're standing next to the threshold of 18C when airplanes land on Polderbaan. Also nice to see what it looks like from the other side, right? And here it vanishes. You can see the tail just a little bit, but here it moves again away. Hides behind the house. Can we see it perhaps once it has cleared the house? Yeah, you can still see it. Okay, nice. Okay, but I think over here, the shed. Well, no, this is not something it's going to clear. Right. Meanwhile, we've got bigger birds coming to the center runway. And we also have one standing there. Let me quickly zoom back in again. What we are looking at is the A321neo from Play going back to Reykjavik. Flight 461 A321neo. 5-year-old airplane, first flight January 2018, and a photo bomb from the right, A320 Speedbird, arriving from London Gatwick, British Airways, flight 2826. Got two airplanes lining up. In the distance we have a 737-800 that is going to Edinburgh, and over here in the foreground we have KLM flight 611 which will be going to Chicago O'Hare, Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner. Will be interesting to see if the Atlas Air 747 that landed on Polderbaan just now will take a right-hand turn and go along the southern threshold of this runway, or if it will take the northern threshold and take a left-hand turn. At the moment, the only two contrails that I can see in the nearby sky are over here, with one coming towards me. So moving from south to north, maybe a little bit from west to east, but mostly north-south. Now, after this Dreamliner, we are going to see the departure of another Dreamliner, which is going to be American Airlines Flight 203 going to Philadelphia, 7878. In the meantime, American Airlines Flight 203 going to Philadelphia, lining up. And we'll soon find out what the 747 from Atlas Air is going to do, because it is approaching the crossroads. Now we're hoping to see it make a left-hand turn, but chances are it's going to take a right-hand turn. And it does look like the Atlas will be moving away from us. So that is a pity. Doesn't look like we will be seeing it say bye-bye to Atlas Air. It is not coming this way, unfortunately. That is a bit of a bummer. Hopefully the 777 that arrived from Panama City behind it is coming this way. Now, so thank you so much, Snower, for your super chat. Asks, any good equipment recommendations? Been thinking of taking a train to Schiphol to go spotting for a while. Well, what kind of equipment do you need recommendations for? Because cameras, tripods, microphones, anything else? We've got KLM flight 1475 standing at the threshold. Boeing 737-700 will be going to Glasgow in a minute. 14-year-old airplane, first flight October 2008. Nom As says, hey boy, heb je wel eens een polarizing filter geprobeerd op de camera? Nee, dat heb ik niet. two airplanes that I'm curious about to see if they are coming this way or not, as we are looking at the tail of the 747. Here we have the 777, and behind it is an Icelandair 757. It would be nice if we got to see them up close over here. I think there is the... Yeah, that's the Icelandair pencil. Ja.
Die Airbus 380, komt die hier over de Polderbaan vandaag?
Dat is een hele goede vraag. Ik gok erop dat hij hier naartoe komt, maar ik weet het niet zeker. Afgelopen dagen is hij telkens hier naartoe gekomen. Maar vanaf hier heb je perfect zicht. Hij komt hier direct over. Je wordt bijna weggeblazen waarschijnlijk. Nee, hier sta je wel goed. Als hij op deze landingsbaan komt, dan sta je perfect.
En anders de Polderbaan.
Anders is de Polderbaan, ja. Right, the 777 is coming this way. That is good news. Also, let's have a look and see. Hey, morning, David or David. Koenie is informing us that there's a Cathay 747 taxiing. Where is it going to? Is there any chance of it taking off from this runway? Or will it be going to 18 left? Let's have a look on flight radar. (747) to Frankfurt. Okay. That is going to left, indeed. I agree with Anna. Also looking at flight radar, someone mentioning, Marius mentioning an Antonov flying relatively close by, so I deleted all my filters from flight radar to see where it might be. Not in the vicinity of Schiphol, I'm not seeing anything. Hey Susanne, goedemiddag. Right, I'm not seeing any... Oh, Lelystad. Dude, absolutely no added value in alerting me that there's an Antonov flying all the way over in Lelystad, because there's no way in hell that I can see it from over here. It has to be within the circle of Hoorn, Haarlem, Leiden, Utrecht. Otherwise it will be too far away. You guys have me thinking there was something up close, but that might be invisible range, but Lelystad is too far out. Here we have Icelandair Flight 500, Boeing 757-200, 24 years old. Old livery still. Right, in the meantime we have an A319 from EasyJet that is going to London Luton in the background, in the distance, taking off from the center runway, and Embraer 192 Brilliant is also there. We can expect to see a 777 and a Dreamliner coming in the foreground. Okay. Let's have a look, shall we? There is a big bird, or at least an airplane that flies without a contrail in the vicinity of Purmerend. Let me see if I can spot it. Bear with me. Let's see, how far zoomed in am I right now? Oh, I'm fully zoomed in. Let's go back to the middle. Maybe then I will see something move. I am not seeing it. There it is. Now, not sure what it is. It is flying from east to west, north of me, without a contrail. Could be at 7,500 meters. Is this it? Where's the different airplane altogether? What are we looking at? Is this the Antonov or not? I'm not seeing it otherwise. It is the Antonov. Okay. Cool. Those bastards flying around without producing contrails makes it so much more difficult to spot. I mean, it's the needle in a haystack. See, zooming out, hard to see. James, it is incredibly difficult. I see it visually, and I have to stand behind the camera and sort of guess where the camera lens is pointing to, and then hopefully I'm not too far zoomed in and not too far zoomed out that I can see a few pixels of the airplane in question. Now, meanwhile, we are seeing a Norwegian 737 crossing the runway, and it is almost 1 o'clock, so I am guessing that the runway is going to be used for departures, arrivals once again soon. Have the lights gone on yet? I'm not seeing it just yet, but pretty sure that's what's going to happen soon. But that's good news, because then at least this runway is open for when the A380 is arriving. ETA 35 minutes or so. Orange Pride, Yillard says, lands within 5 minutes. Where's it coming from? Indeed, James, I need a rifle. I need a rifle sight. Okay, Atlanta. So yeah, that means the Orange Pride will go to the Polderbaan most likely. Let me have a look while I'm also doing a little bit of rehydrating. It was expected in how 5 minutes. Okay, so it should be. I'm seeing the first Embraer 190 arriving from Billund on the glide slope for center. So we are going to see the arrivals again. All the lights have gone on now, by the way, as you guys can clearly see. Parallel arrivals in progress. Half an hour before the A380 is expected, so things are looking good for now. I have no reason to believe that they're going to send it to Polderbaan if this runway is also open. Right, where is the the Orange Pride? That is still in the vicinity of Alkmaar. Let's re-enable filter on flight radar. There we go. Oh. Right, so I think our first airplane will be landing before the Dreamliner, the Orange Pride Triple. So let's have a look in the distance at our next airplane. Got the Embraer 190 arriving from Billund. Up next, KLM flight 1344, flight time 50 minutes. The airplane is 9 years old, first flight December 2013. Right, got a Boeing 737-800 coming in next from Transavia, flight 5356, arriving from Faro in Portugal, flight time 2 hours 28 minutes, the airplane 4 years old, first flight December 2018. Struggling a little bit with the sun shining directly on all my screens from this angle. See another airplane in the distance already. That is a 737 MAX 8 from TUI, arriving from Zakynthos. But after this airplane, let's head over to the arrival on Polderbaan, which is the 777 Orange Pride. Right, now let's go over to an arrival on Polderbaan. The PHBVA KLM flight 622. It is a Boeing 777-300ER, aka the Orange Pride livery, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. Flight time 7 hours and 39 minutes. The airplane is 15 years old. First flight was in January 2008. Alright, oh, let's turn back this way. There we go. Got an A319 from Top Air Portugal coming next. That is arriving from Lisbon. Top Air Portugal flight 674 arriving from Lisbon. Flight time 2 hours and 24 minutes at the moment. The airplane is 23 years old. First flight was October 1999. So we have a millennial coming our way. Now, I'm looking to see if I can see the next airplane behind it already. Not yet, also not visually. Robert is informing us that the A380 is entering Dutch airspace with an estimated 20 more minutes before it's going to land. Perfect! Looking forward to that. How awesome would it be if it were to land on this runway? The next airplane is an Embraer 190 from KLM, arriving from Kristiansand. KLM flight 1208, flight time 1 hour and 6 minutes. The airplane is 9 years old. First flight October 2013. And HK215 sending much love from NYC to AMS. And let me return the favor. Much love to you guys in New York as well. Hope all is well.
Welcome to Dutch airspace with an estimated 20 more minutes before it's going to land. Perfect! Looking forward to that. How awesome would it be if it were to land on this runway? The next airplane is an Embraer 190 from KLM, arriving from Kristiansand. KLM flight 1208, flight time 1 hour and 6 minutes. The airplane is 9 years old. First flight October 2013.
And Robert is informing us that the A380 is entering Dutch airspace with an estimated 20 more minutes before it's going to land. And that was, what you heard just now was some wake turbulence. Next up is a 737-800 KLM arriving from Stockholm. KLM flight 1108, flight time 1 hour and 39 minutes. The airplane 22 years old, first flight November 2000. And Yorkshire confirming A380 coming to us. Perfect. The grand finale of the stream for today. The arrival of the Emirates A380 from Dubai in a few minutes. Hey, and I get a notification from PayPal from Anna. Thank you so much for your donation, buddy. Birthday gift from me. Dude, it's been a couple of weeks already since it was my birthday. You're late. Thank you nonetheless, buddy. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Now, let's see. We'll have to wait a little bit before the next airplane arrives on this runway. Got a 737 arriving from Copenhagen that is flying towards us. Still a little bit further to the north. Let me also have a look around and see what we can see in terms of contrails. It isn't a lot. There are some contrail remnants that you can see perhaps. There's one moving away to the west. Already quite far away. There is one. Is that a quad engine? Let's see. So I'm now pointing the camera to the northeast. Should be above the light. Oh yeah, there it is. I was too high. Looks like it is moving from east to west north of me. Not sure if this is a quad engine or not. Now unfortunately it's not going to get any closer. Or at least it's not moving in my direction, so when it moves directly north of me, it will be the closest by. In the meantime, I'm also having a look to see if we can see the next airplane for this runway already, but not seeing it yet. Was still a little out further north. I think it is moving almost directly north of me right now. Well, no, wait a minute. The glide slope is a bit to the left still. Still a little northeast of me. Let me crouch a little, see what you guys are writing. A380 to Glasgow, perhaps. Okay. It's flying. I think it's flying north of Purmerend, at least. Further north. All the while, let me also go back to the next airplane that in the meantime is getting closer by. There we go. Arriving from Copenhagen, KLM Boeing, wait, that's the wrong airplane. KLM flight 1128, Boeing 737-800, arriving from Copenhagen, flight time 54 minutes, the airplane 23 years old. First flight was in June 2000. Alrighty. Got another Embraer 190 arriving from Stavanger, flying in from the north. Sander can't hear anything anymore, so we need a sign language person to translate what I am saying. So the next airplane to arrive is going to be an Embraer 190, KLM flight 1200, arriving from Stavanger. I think it is barely visible in the distance. Let me see if I can show you guys. Some faint lights visible optically. Where is it a bit more? Oh, looking too far to the left. All those lanterns look alike. No, wait. There we go. It's easy to have street lanterns as a frame of reference, but then you have to use the right one to orient yourself with. There we go, KLM flight 1200, Embraer 190 arriving from Stavanger, flight time 1 hour and 10 minutes right now. The airplane is 11 years old, first flight was in January 2012. Ronald confirms that, ATC confirms 18 right? Oh, 18C, okay, perfect. So the A380 is coming to this runway, ladies and gentlemen, very good news. It will be the end of our speakers and hearing drums, no, eardrums. The end of our hearing and our eardrums. Methinks that an A380 coming this way up close could make a nice thumbnail for a live stream. Alright, got a couple of airplanes coming to this runway now, all of a sudden, instead of traffic to the Polderbaan. And I'm complaining, that's good news, keeps us occupied and busy. 737 from Transavia up next, and that is flight 6892 arriving from Santorini. Flight time 3 hours and 12 minutes. The airplane is 8 years old. First flight March 2015. There's an airplane behind it, an Embraer 175 from KLM arriving from Linköping. We're going to get a little warm-up round before the A380 arrives as well. I am seeing a 777 of Chinese origins, China Cargo Airlines Flight 205, also coming this way. So our eardrums will get a nice little warm-up as well. Looks like the A380 might be next after that, so that would make it number 4 for arrival right now. Alright, first up the Embraer 175 KLM Flight 1180 arriving from Linköping, where it left an hour and 22 minutes ago from 5-year-old airplane, first flight January 2018. And thank you Hans Olaf for letting us know that Linköping is located in Sweden, in case you didn't know. And there's a 737 from Transavia going to follow it. And after that 777, after that A380. Right. Let's go. Transavia flight 1016 will be next. Boeing 737-800 arriving from Antalya. There it is. Flight time 3 hours and 32 minutes. This airplane 13 years old. First flight July 2010. And after this airplane, a 777 freighter. And the airplane after that is the Emirates A388. Alrighty. She's getting closer. Here is the penultimate airplane of the day, ladies and gentlemen. It is China Cargo Airlines Flight 205, arriving from Shanghai. Flight time of this airplane, 10 hours 28 minutes. It is a 777 freighter, brand new, i.e. less than a year old. First flight of this airplane was in March 2023. This might get loud, but not as loud as I think the airplane next after it will be. I'm looking behind it to see, can I see it already? Not yet, maybe you guys do. Let's fixate the tripod for the wake turbulence. Right folks, last airplane coming up in the standard livery, the old standard livery. Emirates Flight 147, Airbus A388-800. The daily flight arriving from Dubai. Flight time 6 hours and 34 minutes at the moment. It is still out there, hard to see visually already. Flight time 6 hours and 34 minutes as we speak. The airplane is 8 years old. First flight was in March 2015. It is now crossing the North Sea Canal as we speak, so it is getting closer by. I think I see it in the distance. Let me get my bearings straight. I think it should be there. So yeah, it is hazy as you guys can see. It is unfortunate. That's always the case when the weather is under the influence of high pressure. It impedes the visibility, but once it gets closer you will clearly see it and hear it, I'm sure. Slowly but surely she's getting closer. It is also going to be the last airplane of the day. Looking to go out again tomorrow. Not sure yet of the location. I'm also curious what you guys thought of this location, so I think I might open up a poll in the community section. If you guys would want to fill it in, that would be nice. Now bear in mind, it is only a temporary location because it's not going to be as busy on each day once the Kaagbaan will be open again. But maybe later in the weekend we can visit it again, or on Monday or something, if that's also what you guys would like to see. For now, I'm going to shut up and film the A380. now it has pulled down. I had to be quick, fixate the tripod because of the wake turbulence, because it was getting windy quite quickly after it had passed, but beautiful to see. Hope you guys had fun. I sure as hell had. I am going to wrap it up for today. Thank you all so much for joining me here today on a new location. Hope you guys liked it. I will be back tomorrow with another live stream. Looking forward to seeing you then. Thanks to everyone who joined here today. If you like what you saw and you haven't done so already, consider subscribing. It really helps me to reach more people that are also interested in content such as this, like you and me. Thank you all for joining. Thanks to everybody who was so kind to donate super chats, super stickers, super likes. Become a member, donate memberships, buy something from the merch store, donate through PayPal or directly. Thank you all so much. Your support means the world to me, and without you guys, this channel wouldn't be anything. So thank you all so much for your ongoing support. A big thanks once again to all the moderators for keeping the chat a friendly place, as has been from the get-go. Looking forward to seeing you again soon. I'm going to wrap it up and say bye for now. Be safe and see you again soon. Ta-ta!